So let's get started with our first keynote speaker today. I'll just read a little bit about what we've been provided here. Her title is Global Chief Adoption Officer, which hopefully we're going to be able to talk about a little bit later on. Digital transformation, as you know, is happening. No one's going to dispute that. So who is in charge? Many companies appoint digital transformation officers, but it doesn't stop there, as many of you are aware. The CEO needs to be in charge as well, which brings a few more questions. Why should the CEO care? What is the CEO's role? Well, Polly Sumner has the answers. She's going to guide you through the steps that a CEO must take now. So please give a warm round of applause to the Global Chief Adoption Officer at Salesforce, Polly Sumner.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good morning. Good to have you here. I'm good. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us today. I am the Chief Adoption Officer at Salesforce. People are always asking me what that means. Well, today we're in the age of the customer. And if your customers don't use your products, and if you have a subscription or an SLA kind of service model, if they don't get the value, then they don't renew. So that's kind of the basis of being a Chief Adoption Officer. It's also very important that we understand how our customers are using our products. And when we can combine that with amazing customer experiences, we have an opportunity to grow our businesses and to change our role in the industries that we serve and the customers we serve today. So as you know, Salesforce is a publicly traded company. And therefore, I just want to remind you that you should make all purchasing decisions associated with what's publicly available. And we're going to talk about some other innovations today, and you can read the rest of our safe harbor statement on the website. So first, maybe I'd start off with a little bit about who is Salesforce. Perhaps we're not as big of a brand that's as widely recognized in Europe as we are in the United States. I, of course, am the executive sponsor for our business here in Europe, and I thought I'd take you on a journey with some of our customers. Well, first of all, we are focused on our customer. Our number one value is trust and customer success, and we're the enterprise software company that's basically been focused on our customers from day one. And today, we've been honored to be invited in this past year into the Fortune 500. We're one of the world's most admired companies 3 years in a row. We've been selected by Fortune 100 for one of the best companies to work for, and that's super important in the world today as we all have a major war on talent. And then finally, one that's very near and dear to my heart is that we were selected as the most innovative company by Forbes 5 years in a row. And that innovation is a mathematical formula, of course, that has to do with the premium on your price and your stock price and shareholder value. But it's also important to note that they interview our customers, or the company, the contestants' customers, to find out how innovative those customers are with the products and services that you offer. Right here in Germany, as we've grown from zero, essentially, to 20,000 employees worldwide, and also to almost over $6.5 billion in revenue, we actually have attracted and we have great partnerships with many leading German and Swiss companies, and we're going to talk about a few of those today. So in summary, just because our business is focused on our customer success, it's also very important that we thank each and every one of you who are our customers, because without your success, our company wouldn't be successful at all. So defining your company in the context of success, and when we founded Salesforce, we also we were an evangelist for cloud computing. And this cloud computing idea has created a new model for success. So when we think about mainframes and client server in the cloud, we were founded around 3 basic principles, which I think are the examples of how new companies are being created and some of the values and orientation associated with those. So first of all, the cloud is a new technology model. Our customers don't buy hardware and software. They don't focus on integration. They have multi-tenancy. We upgrade the service. They can consume it as they want to. Many of the things that I think you've all heard about in cloud computing. But the second one that's super important is also a new business model. The business model is focused on customer success. It's also a subscription. So when you have a relationship with your customer that's based on a subscription, if they don't get value from your products, they don't renew. And that makes us focus on a partnership with our customers, not about our success, but about their success. And then finally, a new philanthropic model, a 1-1-1 model, where when we started the company, we took 1% of our time, 1% of our equity, and 1% of our product, and we put it into a nonprofit foundation that we actually integrated into the company. So today, our employees have 7 days a year where they can go volunteer on any nonprofit that they want. We did a great event here yesterday. We planted trees in one of the outdoor areas over by our hall over there, and really trying to integrate philanthropy into the business of business. So that's created a whole new model of customer success. Success defined by customer success, employee success, and all of your stakeholders. So I think everybody knows that today the world is full of cloud, but there's a lot of other technology things that have happened in the marketplace. The first one is that we're entering, or we're in, the age of a customer, where everything and everyone is connected. And it's based, of course, on cloud, as I described, but it's also about mobile and social and data science, and the technologies that are prevalent here also of Internet of Things. And when we think about this industry, I've been in it for 40 years, and over 40 years, and I spent a predominant amount of that time in Silicon Valley. And we used to have mainframes, and they were affordable by thousands of companies, and the big companies got to use them, and the small companies couldn't afford them. And then we moved into client-server, and there were a variety of things in client-server. Of course, Moore's Law allowed us to deliver technology at scale to millions of users. And the price decreased, of course, so that smaller and medium-sized companies could afford it. But the thing that was different about that was maybe they could afford the PC or the hardware, but maybe they couldn't afford the most sophisticated software in the world. And that's a fundamental shift to where we are in this world today. And now we have billions of connected things. So it's no secret, if you walk around CeBIT, you're going to see every single thing here is connected to another thing. But is it connected to your customer? Is it connected to you? And then finally, these billions of connected things allow us an unprecedented opportunity as leaders in the industries that we represent to actually take those trillion of customer interactions and then turn them into insights. Insights about what our customers want. One-to-one journeys where we connect with them to deliver a different kind of customer experience. Insights into our products and how our customers use them. And these will fundamentally change the way we run and operate our businesses, not just today, but for a long way into the future. So why aren't we able to just snap our fingers and do this today? Well, we happen to call it the customer gap. And it's actually every CEO's challenge. Because today, less than 1% of the data we have in our companies about our customers is actually analyzed, used, turned into action. And 77% of customers report that they're kind of disconnected or not engaged with the companies that they purchase products from or the ones that they acquire service. And so it's an imperative for every one of us that leads a business to think about how do we engage with that customer? What are the ways that we can get insights about customer engagement and turn them into meaningful experiences and capabilities for both our companies, our customers, and the relationships that we have with them? In addition, of course, all of these connected devices are creating just an ocean and bigger and bigger amounts of data. In fact, 90% of the world's data was created in the last 12 months. 6 billion smartphones are due to be on the planet and in use by each and every one of us by 2020. And there'll be over 75 billion products that are all connected together. So what does this mean? Well, it's pretty daunting for us to think about, like, number one, the speed with which this data is being created. The second one is the vast quantities of that data, and how do we use it? How do we take machine intelligence, predictive analytics, get customer insights, and turn it into a competitive advantage and a closer, tighter relationship with our customers? Now, this, of course, allows us, all this data, to do, instead of creating, as we did in the industrial age, products for mass production, we can create journeys and experiences in a one-to-one environment with all of our customers, wherever they are, and whichever one of our products they're using. Now, some CEOs and some people are just kind of daunted as the Chief Adoption Officer, I spend a lot of time with CEOs, businesses, and what they're trying to achieve is they think out to 2020 and beyond, and what's the future of their company. Now, most of them are looking at this data and saying, how do I get started, and what is the journey that I should be on to connect with my customers in a whole new way? Many of them are delivering predictive service. We've all seen that kind of in the marketplace. They're also taking learning in products. They're definitely focused on technology to deliver new product and customer experiences at scale, and they definitely are focused on speed. When we think about that and how we could actually go forward and use all of this data, as well as combine it with the ideas and innovations of our employees, and drive our businesses to new places, it also means that we have to change our operating models and kind of the design principles of the way we run our businesses, the way we build our products, et cetera. So let me just give you a slight example of what I mean by that. So I'm sure we've all seen these two ketchup bottles. But when we think about it, the ketchup bottle on your right is based upon, my right, your left, is based upon a design principle that came out of a supply chain. The bottle is actually designed copying the wine bottle. And the wine bottle, or the bottle, is designed like this in the ketchup case because when I put it into the case and I ship it, if the case is loaded upside down, it dynamically does not break the bottle. If it's loaded on its side, it doesn't break the bottle. If the cap is there, if the cap holds the ketchup in the bottle, and then I come to the customer experience. It's placed on the shelf. I take it off the shelf, I take it home, I get ready to open it, or maybe I'm in a restaurant and that ketchup bottle is sitting on the table. And when I open that ketchup bottle, I twist off the cap, and then what happens? I start to bang that ketchup bottle on my finger or stick the knife in it because the ketchup doesn't come out. And if it does come out, it comes out in a big blob on the plate or on top of your hamburger, if you happen to be American like I am, or worst case is it shoots across the table and either ends up on your guest's tie or on the front of your shirt. And that's what I mean about a product that's not designed around the customer experience. Now take the ketchup bottle on the other side of the slide. This ketchup bottle has a couple of characteristics about it. First of all, it's plastic, and so it's squeezable. It's shaped towards my hand so that I can get all the product out of it in an easy way. It stands upside down on a cap that has a very small hole in it, not a very big open top. And it means that after I open the ketchup, the water goes to the top of the bottle instead of coming out first when I'm trying to apply it to the food that I want to eat. Now that's a very simple design principle that manifested itself in basically the same product delivered for a customer experience in two different ways. So here's another kind of idea of these ways we're thinking about these businesses of the future, kind of some of the discussions that we have. This one takes a little bit longer to explain, so I hope you'll bear with me. You know, we normally think about these quadrants up and to the right as being the place that you want to be. But let me explain what's happening here. So first of all, on one axis, I have customer effort. And if you go up, that means there's more customer effort. And on the other one, I have employee effort. So when I think about the way that I'm engaging with my customer, and in our businesses, we think about our customer engagement as being how we sell, how we service, how and what we market, and who's the community that cares about our products and buys them on a continuous basis. So when we think about this, what you really want to do is to have a lens for your decisions and think about how you can make any one of those, or a process or a capability in any one of those areas, move down and towards the place where there is zero customer effort and zero employee effort. So let's think about something. Today, let's take service, customer service. If you have customer service today, what do? We basically say, I want to take my most important customers, the honor circle at Lufthansa, for example, and I'm going to take the customers that are the most important, and I'm going to create a special service for them. In the English, we call it a concierge service. I'm going to deliver a premium level of service to my special customers. Well, I would argue that to do that, you're actually moving that service down because you have created more employee effort. So you haven't actually moved it over to the zero customer, zero employee effort quadrant. You've moved it to the reduction in friction on the customer side, but you've maybe created more work or more employee effort to provide that extra service. And what the disruptors and also CEOs who are leading this transformation for their companies into the age of the customer is moving something over and into this bottom quadrant. So let's take a look at Coca-Cola, for example. So the bottler here in Germany, in Coke, they identified that there was a lot of innovation that they could do in their selling process, and they actually, through technology, took the survey process that a salesperson goes and does to see if the products are right places on the shelves, to feedback the marketing surveys to the marketing department, to know which brands are moving, et cetera, and which product categories. And they're actually taking those down and making them zero customer effort and zero employee effort. Another example is a great brand that was built and founded based on technology here in Germany, and that's Zalando. And they basically have created not only zero customer effort and almost no employee effort, because they offer you to buy a pair of shoes, which you can do online, you can accept the shoes, you can buy them in 3 different sizes, the 2 sizes that don't fit, you can send them back. It's all done through technology, but they're actually reinventing that now to not just be an online e-commerce marketplace for shoes and fashion, but actually an exchange, which now links together shoppers, stores, fashion advisors, designers, and the producers of the clothing and the apparel, and basically creating a big exchange where you can bring home those clothes, try them on, ask your friends what looks good on you before you make your purchase decision about the dress that you're going to wear out to an important evening with your new boyfriend. And that's the kind of concept that you have when you go to zero employee effort and zero customer effort. Another great example is, well, there's a bus right outside here that I saw this morning at CeBIT, and that's the Flixbus. And Flixbus was founded in 2011. They have over 1,500 bus routes that they provide today. Most of those buses are provided by, and the service of driving the bus and delivering the passengers and picking them up is done by the traditional carriers. But because they're using this data about who's riding and they're focused on the experience in the bus, they were able to create a great app that you can book your bus ride, you can find the schedule, you can buy your ticket, but they go beyond that. They're creating an amazing experience in the bus with Wi-Fi connectivity, with other services, et cetera. And as they listen to those customer experiences and create customer advocacy through the 700,000 Facebook fans that follow them, they're increasing and driving up ridership, and they have a customer success ratio score of over 97%. And then finally, another one, which we'll hear a bit more about later in the program, is a very traditional 200-year-old German company called KBA, Koenig Bauer, and they're redefining service to be part of the product, customer, and sales and advisory experience for all their customers in an industry that maybe we would have thought was not growing, which is actually the printing industry, and we'll hear quite a bit more about that. So it's an imperative that you not only rethink the way you design products, my 2 ketchup bottle examples, and think about what the customer experience is with your product, or maybe your product becomes the customer experience, but also that you actually take and say, what is my decision framework for what I'm going to invest in? And in every engagement with my customers, am I bringing the customer effort down? And in my company, am I decreasing the amount of employee effort in order to be able to do that? And that's the new decision framework for leaders in the age of the customer. So I thought it might be kind of interesting. You know, one of the things that we get to do, and I get to do at Salesforce and other adoption officers that I know in the marketplace, and yes, it is becoming a job title that will be popular, mark my words, by 2020. And that is that we work with our customers on a journey. These things don't happen overnight. We have to create a vision with the customer. We go through how this would actually manifest itself in this age of the customer. So perhaps we could take and just let me introduce a short video that I'm going to show you with some comments from the CEO of Coca-Cola in Germany. Now, I had the opportunity to sit down with Ulrich, well, it was almost 4 years ago, and really talk to him about what it would take to actually change the way their salespeople interacted with the customer. So for most of you, you think about the people that you see in the grocery store who are stocking the shelves, or maybe the Coca-Cola delivery person, and you might not know that there are over 1.2 million retailers in the German marketplace. Coca-Cola serves about 800,000 of them, but actually they only touch less than 20%. So how do I build a strategy, an idea that I can actually have an impact on every one of those retailers and change my engagement model with them through sales? So through technology, they now have fully connected apps for their employees, their distributors, their retailers, and their consumers. And one of the things that is an underlying business advantage is that retailer onboarding, which is the way that you go out and you sign a contract with a new retailer to carry your product, and then you basically teach them how to push and how to sell Coca-Cola, how to stock the product, what's the different kinds of promotions that are available, and they're able to do this today 10 times as fast as they were before. Just imagine if you could have one of your processes, or a couple of them in your sales organization, be 10 times as fast tomorrow as they are today. And then finally, they're able to unlock the investments that they've made with SAP with a platform that's based on customer success to integrate sales, service, retailer engagement, marketing, and loyalty. So I thought it might be interesting to have Ulrich share a few words with us about the journey that they've been on and what they've been able to accomplish. So let's roll that video.
If you ask me what have changed the most for me in the last 4 to 5 years, is that today I run most of my business from the phone. I say that the most dangerous place to make a decision is in the office. You need to make the decision where the customer is, where the suppliers, where the employers is, and this new way of doing business allows you to take the decision exactly at the point where it matters. In the past, it was bigger companies that outcompeted smaller companies. I think that's history. Today, the fast companies outcompete the slow companies. So for this organization to transform, there's 4 things we really have to do. Get much faster. We have to work on collaboration, connectivity, and scalability. And all of that in a mobile context. And there, Salesforce has been a fantastic partner and a great help for us. In Coca-Cola, everybody either sells or helps to sell Coca-Cola. And that means that everybody needs to have that customer in the center of everything they do. It's been a fantastic journey so far, and I think it's a very important time in history to have a great brand coupled with great technology. We are onto something very, very special. Some could call it a secret formula.
So obviously, that's a great global brand with a lot of local innovation. I think we'll see this as the way that companies move forward, and it's certainly a message to all of us that innovation can happen anywhere. Now I'd like to talk to you for a moment about KBA. KBA is a transformational journey that started about 4 years ago. I actually met Ralph Semick, the CEO, only 3 years ago, and this is the Koenig Bauer sheet-fed solutions division of the overall company, KBA. Now, this is a 200-year-old company who's very engineering-driven, and they kind of woke up every day for most of that 200 years, asking themselves a question which was kind of the DNA, as we say in French, the raison d'être for that company, which was, how can we build the best printing machines in the world? And every day, how do we think about making them better? Now, several years ago, as you know, we all read less print, right? We buy less magazines. So the traditional print market is declining. Yet the packaging market, when webbed print, is growing. But there's another phenomenon that's happening in the printing machine industry, and that is that the machines themselves are becoming much more performant, They require less labor, but more importantly, the output is much, much greater through technology. In addition, the capacity is increasing because when you go and buy a new print machine, you don't throw your old print machine away. Maybe you move it to a printer who has less throughput requirements, or maybe it goes to a secondary market. And so the capacity is not declining at the same rate that the demand is declining. In addition, the global groups, so in a lot of industries, of course, there are much, much bigger aggregators. So today, because of the packaging, because of web to print, there are big groups that require different approaches and services than the traditional printing market, which was based on mom and pop shops. So when was the last time that you walked in to a mom and pop shop and had your business card printed? Or maybe a personalized Christmas card? You don't. You typically go to a web to print site, and you actually don't know who the printer is, but you're super happy when you receive high-quality goods that might arrive in the mail or Federal Express, or perhaps by some kind of delivery service. So the requirement that Ralph set forward for his team was to change the question. And the question that they focused on, and they focus on today, which is, how can we make sure that we keep and we grow our customers now and in the future? So a fundamental shift in the question and the way they think about their business every day. So let's take a look.
Agilität und Schnelligkeit entscheidet, wer im Markt Erfolg hat. Es reicht heute nicht mehr, wenn man sagt, man ist ein Traditionshaus, man ist ein Maschinenbauer. Und die tolle Technologie, die wir anbieten, sollte ausreichen, dass unsere Kunden das Produkt kaufen.
Der deutsche Mittelstand, damit auch Koenig Bauer, ist sicherlich deshalb erfolgreich, weil man nicht nur finanzgetrieben ist, sondern sich langfristig verpflichtet fühlt, Beziehungen zu Kunden zu entwickeln.
Daten sind für uns ganz wesentlich. Weltweit arbeiten wir mit Salesforce, denn wir müssen unseren Kunden verstehen.
Koenig Bauer macht für mich aus 200 Jahre Erfahrung im Druckmaschinenbau. Wir sind der älteste Druckmaschinenhersteller, gleichzeitig aber der innovativste.
Sie müssen sich vorstellen, dass wir beim Druck den Druckpunkt in der Präzision von einem Tausendstel Millimeter auf den Bogen bringen und das Ganze bei einer Geschwindigkeit von 20.000 Bogen pro Stunde. Das sind 5 Bogen pro Sekunde. Gigantisch. KBA hat die höchste Anzahl von Patenten im Druckmaschinenbau.
Die großen Themen, die mich als CIO bewegen, sind die Themen der Digitalisierung, das ja durchaus auch das Einfangen der ganzen Anforderungen, die sich dadurch ergeben, und diese trotzdem wieder in geordnete Bahnen zu bringen.
Wir haben eine Unmenge an Daten aus dem Vertrieb, aus dem Service, aus dem Marketing und auch von unseren Maschinen. Und Salesforce erlaubt uns, diese Daten auszuwerten, zu strukturieren und daraus Schlüsse zu ziehen. Das erlaubt uns, unsere Kunden noch besser zu verstehen.
Die wichtigsten Technologien, mit denen man als CIO derzeit konfrontiert ist, sind sicher Mobilitätslösungen, also der Zugriff von überall aus zu jeder Zeit.
Das ist für mich ganz entscheidend. Ich brauche ein Tool wie mein iPhone in Kombination mit Salesforce. Ich sehe genau, wie unsere Performance ist, in welchen Ländern wir uns verbessern müssen, wie es mit der Produktionsplanung aussieht, welche Aufträge erwarten wir, wie ist unsere Performance im Vergleich zum Wettbewerb. Ganz ehrlich gesagt, Managen ohne Salesforce kann ich mir heute überhaupt nicht mehr vorstellen.
Eine andere große, wichtige Technologie ist das Thema Cloud Computing. Die Vernetzung der Systeme bei unseren Kunden mit unseren eigenen Systemen spielt eine immer größere Rolle. Beispielsweise vorbeugende Wartung, also das Auslesen von Kundendatenwerten, das Erkennen von künftigen Zuständen, Wartungserfordernisse und Ähnliches.
Predictive Service bedeutet, dass Bauteile, Baugruppen in der Maschine sich automatisch vom Kunden heraus zu uns in der Serviceabteilung melden.
Wir können heute schon von der Service-Seite her in unsere Maschinen reinschauen, bekommen frühzeitig Meldungen zurück und können so auf unsere Kunden eingehen und sagen, hier gibt es in Zukunft Themen, da sollten wir gemeinsam dran arbeiten.
Für den Kunden ist es ein sehr hoher Mehrwert, weil die Maschine eine wesentlich höhere Verfügbarkeit hat.
Die Digitalisierung erlaubt uns, unsere Kunden durch neue Geschäftsmodelle zu unterstützen. Dazu zähle ich insbesondere Social Media, Cloud Computing. Unabdingbar ist hierbei aber die Unterstützung durch einen erfahrenen Partner.
Und deshalb ist es wichtig für uns, dass wir auch ein Tool haben wie Salesforce, um diese Daten einmal in unser System zu bekommen, ob es der letzte Serviceeinsatz war oder das letzte Beratungsgespräch, das unser Vertriebsmann geführt hat. Alle diese Informationen kommen in unser Salesforce-System. Das ist das Entscheidende.
Koenig Bauer steht seit 200 Jahren für Innovation. Und Salesforce begleitet uns jetzt auf dem Weg der digitalen Transformation.
So it was unfortunate for me that Ralph couldn't be here today to share his own story with you. So I gave him a ring a couple of weeks ago. We had a video conference. I was in California, he was here in Germany. And I asked him, since that movie was made last June, just what had happened at Koenig Bauer since they started on this amazing journey towards a digital transformation. So the first one is a very interesting concept, which is actually reshaping the products and services that they offer to the marketplace. Today, the focus is on the performance of the machine for every individual customer. So it's not just about the performance of a machine that I designed in my facility and in my manufacturing plant that then I ship to a customer. It's the monitoring through M2M, of course, of that machine and thinking about how to increase the business value to the customer based upon that customer's performance with their customer. Kind of that notion of connecting to your customer in a whole new way. But interestingly enough, through data science and data analytics and understanding these customer insights, they can now make recommendations and customize their offerings, their service contracts, to the individual customer based upon that individual's customer's relationship with their consumer or their customer. These deeper insights have fundamentally shifted the business from reactive to proactive, and the entire company, from design principle through customer engagement, is helping their customer results in more uptime in the printing business and the printing operations. Now, they're also offering new data-based services and service models, from benchmarking services. Remember, I told you a little bit about those big groups that are now aggregating the print demand together. So they can tell a group like a WebCore or somebody like that, what is the performance of all of the companies that are in that group, and who is actually doing the best job of operating and executing and working in the print facility. And they've gone from transforming their business from selling the best machines, engineering, manufacturing, and selling the best machines, to becoming a trusted advisor to their customers. Now, I also asked him just exactly what were some of the challenges, because, you know, these things just don't happen overnight. And Ralph shared with me that, you know, it's been very difficult to move sellers into consultants, and that's kind of a journey that they're on in terms of an employee transformation. The second one is that, you know, the skill of the actual people who operate these printing machines, they're much more, they need much more skill in the new world than maybe they did in the old world. And then finally, it's super important that they understand the relationship between the performance of the machine and the performance of the consumables or the components that go into the machine, like paper and ink. So they've actually expanded the services that they have, and they test inks and paper and the environment for humidity or heat or whatever, and they're now able to make very important advisory services for their customers. And the last thing is that it came true that the more customers were connected and the more employees connected, they started to benefit. So the customers are really willing to share their data, because when Koenig Bauer applies the insights around performance, they're able to give better advice that helps their customer get more throughput from the machines and improve their business. And on the employee side, the more employees that were connected, the more and more ideas that started to come forward that were about how they could actually improve their business. And then finally, I asked him for some lessons learned to share with all of you. So along the transformational journey, these were Ralph's comments to me about the things that he learned and some of the advice that he would have for others. The first one is that digital transformation is not a marketing claim. It's real, and it's happening now, all around you. The second piece of advice is focus is key. You should start with the low-hanging fruit, aim for quick successes, and celebrate them. Building a culture of success is very, very important. A third one is this new opportunity, as I mentioned, with products connected, the trillions of customer experiences, interactions, et cetera, is the usage data from your products, combined with your customers and other sources, will give you new insights on how you can deliver value. And finally, it's important to take a platform approach with one view of your market and to pivot your entire company to your customer in the way that you think about everything from designing services, operating your business, and executing your customer engagement strategies. So if I think about a little summary of what we've talked about today, success in the age of the customer. So when we think about our businesses, most of us started our businesses around products. And that came from the industrial age, and certainly you can see a lot of great companies that have been here for hundreds of years. And then we applied technology to processes to manufacture those products and to deliver them efficiently to scale. And then we applied and we said, okay, so now we have these products, and a lot of our products have shifted into services. And now we think about customer service as a way that in an engagement strategy with our customers. But the future in the age of the customer, it's super important that you understand that engagement is very, very different, and we now need to include the insights and the engagements that we have with our customers and reinvent our products, our processes, our services, which creates more engagement, and just keep going round and round. So some keys are to start now and move fast, customers. The fundamental shift from products to experiences, that was kind of the move down into the bottom left-hand quadrant. A culture of continuous innovation, because innovation doesn't stop and it's happening faster than ever before. Reducing friction is a very important strategy in the age of a customer, because you can't expect the customer to find you, you have to find them. You have to delight them at the moment, wherever they are, anywhere in the world. We need to rethink the role of technology as leaders and decide whether technology is a back office function or whether we bring technology into our relationships with our customers at scale. And then finally, another concept, which is basically one of the founding principles of our company as we've grown over the past 17 years, and that is a focus on turning your customers into fans. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today, and I think we have some time for some questions. I don't know where our moderator... Oh, there you are!
Holly,
back
yes.
Again.
Actually, we are a little over time,
Right.
but okay, just really briefly, this title, Global Chief Adoption Officer, several people have been asking me about it. Where does that come from?
It comes from a business model, really. It's important for every company to understand how customers use their products, and the opportunity in the age of the customer is to combine that insight with the information that you have in your company and out in the environment to put them together and get insights about how you can strengthen that relationship and grow your company.
Great title. Okay, Polly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Super.
a great presentation.
You bet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.